Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jody Miller, and I am the Deputy Director for the Indiana Addictions Issues Coalition. I know some of you, I don't know all of you, but I'm really excited about this new platform that will be available for you all to use with the clients that you work with. It is called TeamPatient, and it is a training for peer supports. It's really an empowerment and accountability support for your clients. And I want to just start off by saying thank you for, getting on the call today, and, just kind of a shout out to all of the organizations. We've got Inwell, Oaklawn, Peace Zone, Turning Point, Wabash Valley, One Voice, Indiana Addictions Issues Coalition on the call today. So once again, thank you for being here. And I want to just kind of give you a little bit of an overview about today's training and why it is valuable to the peers. I'm actually a certified peer coach, level 2. I was actually certified, the 15th person certified in the state with the peer program. I did my internship at Fairbanks, the recovery management for women. I did that, and from there I went into their supportive living program where I was the women's coordinator. So at one point when I was there, I was working with 36 women was on my caseload, which was a lot. So I wish that I had TeamPatient, available to me at that point, because it is an amazing accountability tool for the clients, and also just a great organizational tool for all of you, because it's, as we know, as you're building your clientele, this gives you just a way to stay organized and to know what you've talked about, help them setting goals, whatever it may be. This is going to give you the platform to do that. And that's what we'll go through today, is just a little bit more information, on how to onboard and how to, just kind of the background of TeamPatient and how it works. So what I'll be doing, I'll be overseeing the chat area. So if you have any questions, we'll have some time for that. But I want to introduce you to Al, who is from Solutionize. She's the one that has built this amazing platform. So she's going to be here today walking us through it. We'll do a demo and just show you how it works. But we're excited. Like I said, I've seen just from my own work that I've done with being a peer coach, how this can be helpful. I've done some work in the aftercare program at Boone County for women. We didn't actually get to do TeamPatient, but they were very excited about it, just for the idea of this is a whole system that can help them, show their accountability, to help keep them organized, and also to communicate with the peer that they're working with. So anyway, I think that's it for now. Like I said, if you have some questions, we'll address those a little bit later, but I'm going to go ahead and let Al take over and get us started here today. So
okay,
all yours, Al.
Yeah, thank you, Jody. Hi, everyone. Some of you I've met, some of you I know by name from our work with IRN and IPERS. And thank you for your interest in attending this. We've been talking about this for a while now, and we found the perfect opportunity to, start using it, get peers to use it in their work to organize their communication and engagement with their clients in the recovery hubs. So today we're going to talk briefly about what is TeamPatient, and Jody has given you an overview of that, and then how TeamPatient helps, mainly in the focus of helping individuals in their recovery journeys, sustaining their recovery, keeping them on track. And then we have, after that, we'll go through briefly each of the different TeamPatient functions. And to get that to, to reality, we'll have a demo. Me and Jody, we set up a demo account to show you what happens from the time we onboard you as the peer support, and then what happens after that, and how you work with your clients using TeamPatient. And then, we'll do the questions and answers, and then we'll talk about next steps. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat box, and we'll get it answered before we all, go our own way today. Hopefully this will be useful. You'll see the usefulness of this in your work with individuals. And by the way, we're recording this session because we want to make it available for you at a later time if you want to go back to, what we discussed and stuff. And this will be available to you. Okay, so what is TeamPatient? TeamPatient, as Jody said, we call it patient-centered because of the name, but it's really individual-centered collaboration solution for peer supports to connect everyone and everything around each affected individual to support their sustained recovery and eventual reentry into society. Some folks use reentry for usually in the justice system, but reality is, individuals, we are all, recoveries all work through reintegration and being the same productive citizen that they were before the issues set in. The next thing is, we came up with this. How does TeamPatient help? Well, as you guys know better than I do, there are different pathways, but the key is to in connecting and engaging the continuum of care, or the inner circle, the support circle for the individual, to help them get through the recovery process and sustain it. And TeamPatient can help provide the linkages to all these parties, these different components. It destigmatizes recovery because it is private, so you don't have to shout to the world. Your client, because you as the peer support will own the network, but you create groups with your clients, and no one can enter that group without your client agreeing to it and you actually inviting them. So if Jody's invited in 3 groups, and groups of the 3 groups of clients, none of the clients know that Jody is involved with them, because each group is mutually exclusive. So it's private, and all the activities within that group stays in that group. And then it demonstrates the accountability, and we will show you in a way how you can do that by keeping track of deliverables and just the progress. And because you have that, and you have this as your bridge from one call or meeting to the next. This is if you see any changes, any lapses, say they haven't been responding to you, they haven't done their tasks, and then, it's an early warning, and hopefully it will mitigate relapse, and you will not need to unpack if there's a relapse, or worse, if there's an overdose, which is, I hope it doesn't happen. So, and then, because of that continuous engagement and audit trail I call it, because you have a record of all the tasks that you have worked with, that you have added to the network, to the group, to support that recovery plan, communications with them. It's one place to go, and it will give you, what would I say, an indication, and it's a way for you and your client to see, to rejoice in the progress, or remediate if there's a lapse. So,
And Al, too, I just wanted to add with that, the accountability of it, it gives you just, some eyes in, some more eyes to help that person. I'm also a person in long-term recovery. I don't think I said that, but I know that, I have to have people around me that are going to hold me accountable. So this is just another way to have some more eyes on me or the individual, because, like it says, it takes a village to sustain recovery. So I think it's just more of that, building that accountability, and that gives each individual the opportunity to be able to have, a record of things that they are doing and people that are watching out for them. So I just wanted to share that.
yeah, as Jody said, it takes a village to sustain recovery. And you as peers are a pillar of that village to help the individuals sustain their recovery. Now we go back to the TeamPatient functions. Okay, the functions, all of you are working with the hubs. You are familiar with groups. So groups are vital because this ensures that what I was talking about, the privacy and exclusivity of that relationship, of that engagement. And this is where you communicate, share information, and if your client so desires to invite, say, their sponsor, family member who are part of that inner circle supporting them, you can do it here. But that invitation is extended, but it can also be what they call it, discontinued or withdrawn if that relationship is no longer relevant. There's empowerment for the patient the client, because you're not, unlike a lot of relationships, you're not telling them to do A, B, or C. This is, you sit down with them, you plan with them. Anything that goes in that group, in that plan, they are part of that decision. And then the next thing is the to-dos. To-dos is a calendar entry with information and tracking. So this is your way to know, if your client hasn't flagged a task or to do or an appointment complete. It's like there are probably reasons they forgot, or there's a problem, or there's a bigger problem. But that will give you an alert system to triage, at least, um, find out what's happening. And then there's resources. This is actually this resources. This is a way for you to send them if they need to um, with this fill out forms. Here's the form. You download. They can download it, and they can fill it in, or they can read things that you send them. But if they need to send you any information, any document, they'll have to go through your organization's secure transmission of documents. So we don't have any issues of the ROI patient sending you information here. This is for to track. I mean, right now, what we're using TeamPatient for is to track the, um, the plan, to set the plan, to track the progress, and to communicate. And then here's the conversations is one of the key things that you want um, to use. It is a way for you to have discussions with your patient, with your client, with whoever. If you have they have invited other participants in their inner circle, have that it's a way to help find out from them if they need help, or commend them. It's like, yeah, hey, you did a great job doing this. And it's a way of reinforcement. Like, for example, if you after a meeting and you've learned a lot of things that they've done great, of course you can say that to them verbally, but this is to immortalize the milestones. And this is a way for them to contact you without having to call you, wait for you to pick up the phone. But if it's really urgent, of course they can call you. But if they just they came out of like a counseling meeting, a job interview, and they're so excited, they can put in a conversation and say, hey, this went well, blah blah blah, whatever, at the moment. And then there's the email. This is a direct, secure, and it's private. This is a way to communicate one-to-one between the members of the group. It's not unlike the conversation where everybody can chime in. This one is a direct communication. And the next one is notifications. You will see on the demo how notifications work. And this is very, I think, valuable for both you and your client and anybody else who's in that support circle. We go back to the early warning device, that early warning, early alerts that we mentioned earlier. I can pause here and take your questions if you have any questions or comments. Okay, so with TeamPatient, we actually onboard you as the owner of the network. And when we onboard you, you will get an email from the system similar to this. You have been invited as the owner of whatever, what we create here, the team name. And then it's as simple as clicking visit our site to complete that onboarding. Once you get onboarded, you'll set up your location and stuff like that, every good thing about you, password. And then you will have this screen because you've logged in. However, it doesn't look like this right away. The first thing that you need to do will be to create the group for your client, because this works in groups. The first thing that you do is create a group. What we've done is we've created a group, and we've created a group with Jody. So Jody is my client. So once Jody receives a similar email inviting her, and then once she's accepted it, she'll get on to her own login, to her own group. And Jody, you want to show your group? Want to show your screen?
Yeah, here we go. All right.
There
Can
you go.
everybody see that?
Yeah, your client will have this same screen. So right now, that's after she logs in. And when you click on Jody, this is her home. This is her group. With the group, Jody, what I've done is I have designated Jody as an admin for the group so that she can add the to-dos. So she can work with us to add the to-dos. And what we've done right now is to show you what can be the different things. Now, let me go back to my screen, and I want to show you a few things that you can do with your clients. Okay, here we are. So if I go back, this is going to be your screen. So if you go to your client, you'll see Jody's, the same screen that you saw on Jody's. And what I could do here is I can manage, and what I've done is to add Jody as an admin. So now that's what allows Jody to add to her tasks. So part of these things is on her group, she has conversations, and you can see some of the conversations here. And let's just take this, for example. We've done, to prep, this is also to prep for your next meetings and all that. You can say, hey, Jody, when we speak, let's discuss, this is transitioning from the previous one. Here's the thing that we talked about the last time. Let's pick up on that, or there's something else that came up that you need to pick up on. And these conversations are threaded. So if you can see, Jody responds, and it's an ongoing. Now you can also start another conversation, or Jody can start a conversation saying, I want to talk about this when we meet. So what this does is it preps your client on things that you want to discuss, and the client can prep you about something that they want to discuss, because sometimes it's like going to a doctor. It's like, oh, you're there and you have this discussion, and then after you leave, I was like, oh my God, I forgot to talk about X. So this is a way for both you and your client to make a note of, this is what I want to cover when we next see each other. So that's the conversation. And then if you look at this, when your client goes in, this is what they see once it's populated. But see the to-dos. On the to-dos, they can view the details. Since this to-do was scheduled at 11 o'clock today, they have, what it is this is your way for both of you to track what has been completed and what hasn't been completed, what's outstanding. So if this was at 11 o'clock and it's already 1 o'clock and it hasn't been completed, or at the end of the day when you just browse your clients, it's like, why hasn't Jody completed this? Did she go to this meeting? Did she not do any, is there an issue? So you're either do the conversations, or you call them depending on the urgency. However, if Jody has done the meeting, she can simply flag complete, or I can, if you met with the individual and it's this particular task, you can flag it complete once it's done. So now once it's completed, when you look at the tasks, you see that you'll see the different tasks with this, and it's how would I say, I mean, it's an indication of the progress and all that. And after a meeting, you can always create a conversation that, hey, we did, remember we talked about this, or great job on the interview. I'm so impressed with what you told me about it, or you're doing a great job doing all these things. One good thing about it is, if you look at all the tasks, you will see, I mean, as you go on, you'll see the progress of that one person, what they've done, what they haven't done. And it's I mean, all of us love seeing our progress, how far you've come in your adherence, in your completing the things that you've done and all that. And
Al, there's a couple questions I want to just kind of
sure,
ask those now, just because we're right in this part of it.
Yeah.
One question is this set up individually for each client so that all recoveries aren't seeing the threads back and forth? Which I replied back, yes, it is private, which is a good question. But if you want to just explain that a little bit more.
Yeah. So this is the, how would you call it? This for your page, your network as a peer support. Jody is one of your recoveries. So what you do is you manage a group, you start a group, you start another group for the next recovery, and so on and so forth. You're the only one who has a holistic view of everything. So if I add another group, there will be another group there, and that other group will be like Jody's group, that will have its own view like this, and it looks like this, they will have their own members, they will have their own tasks and conversations. These conversations, only Jody or only the group owner can see it. You and the group owner can see it.
So every client or every client will be an individual group then
Mm-hmm.
that you create. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, if it's ongoing support, do they click complete to save a session note tasks?
Yeah, just if they're done with the task, just complete. So they'll see it as complete, as the same. It's complete. And then they can add new ones as you go through, as you have the meeting, you talk about, you need to submit these things to the MHA or FSSA, you need to submit this, the documents to the resident for your application for residency and all those things. And it can be as simple as you need to call your mom because it's her birthday. I mean, a lot of times those are being, what do you call it, overlooked. But that's, I feel that that's an important part of these,
Yeah. And I think too, just to, this is obviously a platform to communicate, but this is really a great organizational tool for yourself, as the coach. That way you can keep up with everybody. That way you know what you've talked about the last time. And trust me, as you build up your clientele, you will, it's hard to remember everything, from your conversations before. And I'm sure a lot of you have had that experience too. So this is just a great way to stay organized for yourself so that you can go in and what you've talked about. You can go in and see, what tasks they've set up for themselves to make sure they're complete. And if they haven't, then, that's a way for you to kind of check in with them and vice versa. So, I just think this is just such a great way to stay organized for the coaches.
We had somebody who was actually in drug court. And it's interesting because what she used TeamPatient for was she asked the drug court, the probation officer, to be part of the group and to prove that she's doing, what she needs to do, and there are other things, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I know just from talking to the gals in the jail program, a lot of them were, kind of frustrated by the fact that they do all these things, but there's no way to show anybody. This is what TeamPatient can really help people do, because they can bring on people onto their team to so they have access to this information and they can see the tasks that they're doing. So I think it's great, just that accountability and that empowerment too. So they're feeling good about themselves. As we all know, that's a big part of this is recovery, is building up your trust, building up your self-confidence, and just feeling good about things that you're doing because the action that you're taking. So,
and also at a minimum, one of the things that we've seen over the usage of this is there's always a family member, a partner, a parent, a sibling who was part of the network of the group. And it's usually the most supportive person in the family circle, but also it's their way to let the rest of that network know, to prove that there's proof that they're really on track and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Al, too, just the family support. There's so many family members that feel very helpless, that they can't be involved in things, just maybe even just from HIPAA and just not being able to be involved. But with this, they can be involved in this team, and that's that's a key thing for a lot of people as far as that support. And I think that's just a great way to get more people involved. And I think we can all relate to the fact that you can't really make someone do something if they don't want to do it. This is for people that want that accountability. I know that part of my recovery program is I've got to have people on my team that are going to support me. They're going to call me out. They're going to help me do that. But I do that because I want to, I that's important to me in my recovery. So I think that's just, the bottom line here. It's empowers them to get more people involved and hold them accountable.
Well, actually, at a minimum, I mean, it's between you and your client. That's they don't need to have the world in here with them or their family or whatever, because not everybody wants that. But at least between you and your client, it helps you help them better by being organized.
Al, we have a question from Fred. How can family participate without violating HIPAA?
Oh, what happens here is it's your client will have to request you to add them. So, and then whatever you have in your organization to do those ROI, whatever terms there is in your ROI, will have to apply. So they can't just add them, or it's you and your client, and you cannot add them either without your client's explicit waiver on that one.
Thank you.
They have no way to invite this. The reason why you see this invite is I am I am in the role of the support right now, and I can do the invite. So that's I can do it with your request, but otherwise there's no way. And the rules in your organization bringing on for ROI and HIPAA will apply in getting them invited. Okay. So any other questions? So right now, this is what I'm looking at this and just focusing on the fact on that those two functions, because that's where we start. I mean, as we go on, this could be bigger. You could do other things. On the resources, for example, you can share resources, but if you notice in this group, you can only have view. To share resources, I have to go to my view, which is your view as the peer. And this is where you do your upload. You can upload the resources here. But even if after you upload, you will have to share it. So for example, there's some, oh no, I don't have it. If you have like some meditation exercises, for example, so you can upload it to your network, and then you can share it with any of your clients. It's just a matter of sharing, and then you can unshare it when it's done. Okay. See this, you can go to your calendar. This is your calendar. Your view here, if you have more than one client, you'll have all sorts of things here. You'll have appointments, you'll have tasks. In fact, if we go to Jody's right now, if I say during the meeting, I say I wanted to add a task for Jody to say, Jody, you need to start writing your journal. So write the journal. So the date will say start today, and probably we'll do it every 9 p.m. before you retire at night. And can give half an hour. Now, since it's journaling, it's every day. I can say, let's do it for until end of September, and then we reconvene and see how you are. How consistently you do it, blah, blah, blah. And then you can say, this is a task. So say, include your thoughts on your recovery journey. Oops. Okay. Submit. So Jody will have to-dos. And because when you create your network, make sure to click on notify me. On every group, if you do notify me, any updates like this, you will get notified that, oh, there's a new to-do that that was given to Jody. And if it happens that you have somebody else in the network, like Jody's husband, he'll also know that Jody has to write this journal every night.
He won't be on my team.
So now let me show you what it is on the calendar. So now I know that there's an appointment for today, and there's an ongoing task for somebody every day. Now if there's somebody else, you have another network, another group, for example, then we'll have another set of this. So say for today, for example, you log in today and you see all these tasks. Oh, okay, this is for Jody, this is for, Johnny, this is for whoever. And you know what each one of your clients are up to on a daily or weekly basis. And you can go forward or backwards. So you know who has, it's like, you can also use this as you're planning, to help you plan your week ahead, or your day, or your next day. At the end of the day or at the start of the day, you go to your calendar and see what's up.
Which that is a key part of this, is that calendar where you can access it. You know when your next appointments are, you know what tasks are out. This is an amazing way to be able to have that all in one place, an organized system for you. Al, we did have a question. Do clients need a computer to use this, or is a phone okay?
Actually, you can use your phone. It's not a native app because it's such a big application. But I mean, it works on your phone.
And I wanted to share
Oh,
too,
there you go.
I keep TeamPatient on my home screen, and you can do that by just sharing to home screen if you know how to do that. If not, I can help you do that. But that way, I can just click on my TeamPatient. I mean, I've kind of created my own app with it, so it's right there accessible, and you can actually show your clients how to do that also. So it's right there at your fingertips and easy to access. Another question I think this kind of leads into is, what are you all doing now as far as engagement? Do you talk to your clients on a weekly basis, or does anyone want to share kind of maybe how they're engaging? Yvette will share.
So, I was sitting here thinking about that, and meanwhile, I have a whiny grandbaby that's teething, so I can't chime in. But definitely phone calls and emails for me, and then in person at the library maybe or whatever. But I could see where this would be really helpful for me after that, whatever that meeting looked like for myself and for a couple of ladies that I come to mind when I look at this. They have kids and they're managing a lot of different things in their life and appointments and e-learning and and it all gets stressful sometimes with them being in recovery, how that goes, that whole stress level. So I can see where this would be useful for me and for a couple ladies off the top of my head.
Yeah. Do you usually talk to your client like weekly, or is it just really depending on the person? I mean, if anyone wants to chime in on that, is it like a weekly appointment, or do you do it, a couple times a week or every other week, or does anybody?
All of the above.
All of the above. It probably just depends on the client's needs, maybe.
Yep, depending on the need and so like for instance, somebody I may be mediating a recovery, helping them with their son that's going through it, even though he's an adult son, but he's in and out of treatment or jail or all these other things as it relates to his substance use. So it could be a weekly, it could be daily. I might talk to somebody every other day, or 1 week, and maybe every day. It's just like ongoing. It's whatever they need, however that looks. So.
Well, I think one of the benefits of this is it takes the frustration out of, I called you and I couldn't reach you, and sometimes I mean, it happens to me sometimes. I call somebody and I couldn't reach them, and by the time I get the return call, it's like, I forgot what I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens.
Everything.
Yeah, but also during more critical times when it's like, well, the world is against me, no one's there. And at least with this one, if I had, a way to, put in my thoughts or my message, and I know that you will see it at the end of your day and you will get back to me, that's better than not getting any contact at all.
And Ryan chimed in. He said, I'm usually doing a check-in weekly if I don't hear from them, unless they are in longer term recovery. But for some, I'm checking in daily, either by phone, text, or email. So I think, like many of you said, it really kind of depends on where the client is as far as engagement, as far as recovery, and just the needs. I mean, some of them are more needy, and we know that, and and we just kind of can work it how you want to work it too. So
Yeah.
I also wanted to share Macy. She said that they have a software that's set up for the organization to track contact from phone calls, in-person texts, and emails. She said this is just for our end. It doesn't include the client, so she likes this is a bit more inclusive. So do some of your organizations have some other types of software set up for you to track things or to do any type of, you know, I guess, data collection?
Well, we have the RDP, which everybody has
Yeah.
been using, and that does track some of this. But one thing with the RDP is there's no calendar on there, and there's no way to
Okay.
schedule clients. And so this, I think, will be really useful, especially the calendar,
Yeah.
and also being able, like somebody else said, for the client to be able to interact as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I've seen a few systems, both for behavior, for substance use and for, I mean, my charts and all that. And it's basically for the purposes of the provider's audit trail. And I mean, they have a purpose, but as far as the client's concerned, it's like, they're the ones you really need to interact and engage with. They're the ones you're helping to get their act together, for example, and I think I mean, in a way, this will be helpful.
And I think too, just having that calendar access, I know for my own self, I mean, it's been a few years, but I remember when I was like, I didn't want to like make that jump from my, my trusty little calendar that I wrote everything down in. I didn't want to get on the digital world because that just scared me. And I was like, oh, that's just one more thing for me to have to do and keep up with. But, embracing technology, as we all know, I mean, there are so many things that we have to do, but this is really for you. I mean, this is just an amazing tool that you can have to stay organized. And once you, embrace it, I guess, and, get set up with everything, I think you'll find that this is a great way to just keep up with everything. And it's really very user-friendly. It's very easy to use with, yourself and the people that you're working with. So, and I know Al will give you a little bit more information, but we are here to help you, and we can set up some individual times with you to just get you set up, get you kind of onboarded, and make sure you got everything that you need. So
yeah, I wanted to make a comment on the calendar. We've had questions about, oh, does this integrate with my what do you call it, Google Calendar and all that. The reason why we did not do that is because within TeamPatient we have this tracking. I mean, we need to have all the calendar entries internally to see this, to have this tracking within the system. And it's one place to go to track it, not like you can mark it done in Google and it didn't reflect here. So I mean, as I've said earlier, it's everything that your client is doing, that everything that you need with your client as far as engaging with them is concerned, is self-contained within TeamPatient. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Maisie. Just give us contact us and we'll help you. Do you see an app coming? Yes. Yes, John. we're working on, with this usage, we'll probably have a couple of apps, one for the client and one for the peer.
And I just know, I mean, for clients, it's definitely a lot more, depending on where we are. And I know even myself, I'll get lazy sometimes, and I don't feel like using the web browser on my phone because I feel like it's too hard to look into stuff or see things. So I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. yeah, we've started looking at it and scoped it, and then things just went upside down. So we all know that, but we are getting in track. And as we get the usage information from you and your clients, that will help us a lot. So, okay, I need to go back to my trusty presentation. And so now I've done the demo. And oh, come on. So what do we do next? We need, these are just simple how-tos to activate, create, invite the client, add to-dos, and upload resources. It's a simple thing that we're gonna give you a copy of. And then we've done the questions. Here's the next steps. We will, if you let us know if you want the network, what we'll do is we're gonna send you it's an onboarding form just to, and it's a simple one. Let me show that to you. It's as simple as this. It's your name, and then it just tells you that, I'm sure you're more than 13 years old, and you can use permission, nothing, extraneous. And then just signature and all that. We get that. We set up your network, and you will get the email like this for the system. It's as simple as that. And then, as Jody said, if you need assistance in getting started, contact us to schedule a one-on-one Zoom session to walk you through the process. So we will, after this session, we will send you that document, that PDF document, send it back to us. We'll create your network, and we're off to the races.
And also, we have this call recorded, and it will be posted on TeamPatient discussion group on the IRN. So you can access that too if you want to go back. But we're more than happy to set up some one-on-one time with you all to just get you set up and get you ready to go. It's going to really help you out. So we are here to help in any way we can.
We have created a TeamPatient discussion group on IRN. This is a private group, so feel free to join it if you have questions, comments, anything about help. If you need help, let us know. Post on the conversations up there, and in fact, you can the onboard document that we've sent you can upload it to this group, to the TeamPatient discussion group, and we'll get it done for you.
And we want to hear how you're using it and successes that you're using with it. So, we all can work together and communicate, if we're struggling or just you need help getting onboarded, but then also if you're onboarded and you're, really using it for some great things, share that with us too.
Okay. Any other questions?
John, did some of this all ring some bells for you from before? I don't know if we lost him. Oh, wait, John's
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We've had modest success in when we were doing this, and the key really is, for folks like you and the support system of the individual to really work with the individual to make this successful. It's, as we've said, it's engagement.
Yeah.
So
Thanks everybody for jumping on the call today and learning some more about TeamPatient. And like we've said, we're here to help get you set up. So reach out to us.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a good afternoon.